Welcome everyone to Heroes of Nippon, where you are recovering from the exertions of defending the House on the Rock, the local martial arts school, from the attacks of the Bakemono. Their cowardly leader, the Dai Bakemono, fled when he realized what heroes he was facing. Granted, he was facing the sensei of the school at the time, but if he'd known you were there, he would have run even faster.
I feel I should point out that this is session 50, which is a milestone in its own right.
Yes,
it is.
Session 50.
I thought it was, yeah.
It is. You've decided to put up with my amateurish GMing for this long, and I feel I owe you a debt of gratitude for so doing.
No, it's been a pleasure, Dave, and to all our viewers that have watched for a whole full 50 episodes, thank you for watching. We appreciate you.
Oh, we certainly do. It keeps us going, does it not?
Yes, it does. It's an inspiration for us. 50 episodes.
So
this
the
is
shout is Budo, Budo,
it's the second most games I've played in any campaign ever. With only my D&D campaign that run that Dave is in being more at 68.
Righty-ho. I am just...
In that case, we've got 19 to go to catch up.
Yeah, we do.
I am just totting up the Budo, because there is Budo awarded for the fight, and there is also Budo awarded by the voting of the players as to who they think had a major effect on the battle. And I am just awarding that now. So, in first place, Harumi has gained 7.3 Shugendo.
Wow, 7.3 to Harumi.
Second place goes to Kosa with 5.3.
5.3, not bad.
4.3 goes equally to Kinzo, Yanagi, and Kyūryū.
That's a level up for me.
And Baka has 4.1.
How much was that, Dave?
4.3. I shall add Yanagi's to his sheet.
Dave, I'm going to roll my hit points now before I switch screens for the viewers, because I've got a dice roller on this one. It's 1d10, isn't it?
How much did Baka get?
4.1. 4.1.
Yes.
More than enough, thank you very much.
That was my hit points roll, Dave. Whee!
1 second, let me have a look and see. And you rolled, good lord, you rolled a 9.
Mm-hmm.
We'll enter it in the appropriate place on the sheet.
I'm just going to put the sheet up on screen for the viewers to see.
You do, of course, enter it against the level, so that if, by some mischance, you lose a lot of on and go down a level, it will automatically remove the points from you. Not that you're likely to lose a lot of Budo. I mean, it's highly unlikely you're going to kill somebody when they open the door to you, isn't it?
Has that increased my hit points automatically, or do I need to do that?
It should have put your permanent hit points up. Let me just check your sheet.
Permanent hit points is 32, it says. Don't know if it
have you put your level up?
No, not yet.
Well, type your level 3 in, because until you do, it won't look.
There we go. It's added them.
And your permanent hit points have now gone up to 41.
Nice.
I get a massive D6.
Right.
A D6 is not to be sniffed at.
Oh, especially not when you roll a 6.
Even better. So
That's what you need.
Place it in cell AA 19.
And how much
going to be friendly too.
Good games, Master.
1 second. Okay, so you have...
On is more important than Budo.
Do I need to do anything else from a level up, Dave?
I don't believe so.
No? Okay.
How much key have you got?
Key 3.
In
Two
that case,
from-
your key goes up 1 because
Yeah.
of your level.
Because it's 1 per level, plus I got 1 from Master and skill.
Exactly. So Baka now gets an additional point of key as well.
Well done, Baka. 2 level ups.
If you get another point of key, Oliver, your character will have a point of magic resistance too.
Very nice.
Not that you're likely to meet any Oni who will be throwing nasty spells at you. Or Daibakemono, for example, which Harumi managed to survive. Very good. Once you have completed moving the erstwhile attackers out of the school, a couple of the Bakemono show bodies do actually need to be carried out lifeless. When they were clobbered, they were hit a little bit too hard, shall we say. Not that anybody's weeping for them. One of the teachers is left outside to guard, and the sensei asks you all to come to the main building, where he sits you down.
Have
and
they got a doctor?
Pardon?
Have they got a doctor?
1 second. As far as the skills of the sensei is concerned, the answer is yes.
Sorry,
They do
Because
have a
Yanagi's-
doctor.
Dave, before we
In
go...
that
Yanagi's got
case,
his eye-
they should look at Yanagi's eye before it falls out.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got his eye poked out again.
And Dave, before we go back into the story, do you want to tell us how much on we got so that I can come off this screen?
No.
No? Okay. I'm going to
No.
remove it then.
Okie doke. So, as far as the as physician is concerned, we have 2 physicians who will have a look at Yanagi, and they will both make physician rolls on him and see, consulting together, what can be done about it. Will you look at that?
Nice roll.
A critical roll on physician.
Pops it right back in.
They have a really good look at it, and Yanagi is currently suffering, I believe, let's have a look and see, 7 critical damage. And, well, his subdual damage is relatively insignificant. That will just come back. But the critical damage is what is important. And it is severely injured, but let me make a second physician roll to see whether that critical roll can assist further.
Oh, is that a good doctor, this one?
Can I just check something with you, Tim? If one has a BCS of 23 in a skill, and then reduces it by 7 for the critical damage to 16, does that mean a 2 is still a critical?
Yes, it does.
So, that is a double critical. And the success on the second roll confirms that is indeed a double critical, and the damage is not as bad as was thought. And
Dave, what I would suggest you do is you suspend his health saving throws and say the 2 crits, meaning that his eye gets better once the critical damage.
Yes. Well, it halves the critical damage to his eye, and because they've managed to maneuver the lens and everything else so that it's back where it should be, he does not have a chance of losing his eyesight. So therefore he doesn't need to make the health saving throws when he gets fully healed. So he has actually had 4 of those critical damage healed, and he has only taken 3 critical damage now, which will be a great relief for him.
Indeed, it will.
Yes. Anyway, the sensei gathers you together in the hall of the school and formally bows and thanks you for your aid in assisting in the defense of the school. He will send messages to Lord Kanawa thanking him for sending you to aid him. And he would be grateful if you would all accept a token of his appreciation. And he will offer you the opportunity to join the school fully if you so wish. Even Harumi, if she so wishes.
I would be most honoured and I will bow most deeply.
Can I ask a
out of character question? Certainly.
Yeah, please. How would that affect me for joining up with like the Yakuza gang? Can I be members of multiple places?
Yes, indeed. As if you join the school formally, you will owe some duty to the sensei, but since you are not a formal martial artist, it is unlikely he would ask you to do something in the martial arts way. He may ask for your assistance in doing something, carrying out a task, that sort of thing, but it would probably be with the other pupils. He is recognizing your service to the school and he's offering you formal membership in gratitude for that service.
Like an honorary membership, we don't have to be there like all the time or anything. It's like when someone grants you an honorary role at a university.
Well, it's your choice. He is offering you full membership in the school. If you decide to take that up as a full member and take that as your main school for learning, it improves. Well, obviously you have a much better chance of getting the training you want, and you are on the path to higher rank in the school, possibly gaining access to okuden, etc., that he may teach, etc., etc. But membership of the school, it is an honor. It increases your reputation at the school by definition, and therefore your global honor for being for having trained at the school. But unless you take it up formally in terms of training, it need not necessarily take you any further within the school.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm absolutely accepting it.
Okay,
Kosa will accept. Kosa will accept. I only train here anyway, so.
Mm-hmm. Okay, those who accept can change their group standing from member to senior member. So that's Kosa who's accepted, Kyūryū who's accepted. We'll offer it to Yanagi. Kinzo, do you wish to accept it?
I would expect Yanagi to accept. Oh no, I shall politely turn it down as I'm allied to a different school.
He will again bow politely and accept your reason for not doing so. Harumi, we don't know. Sorry, Yanagi, we're assuming he does actually accept. Fair enough. 20 on is not... Sorry, 20 status is not to be sneezed at. And Baka, do you wish to accept it or not?
For want of trying the Jedi mind trick and saying this is not the gang I'm looking for. Well, there's no major downsides for me, I don't think. It's not the best place for me to train, but I will graciously accept his offer of some status in the world.
Okay. So you become a senior member, which should put your status up quite a bit. And you are most known now, Baka, for your as a member of the House on the Rock. It's your highest
That's good.
global status.
I need to hide any other affiliations that I don't want anyone to know about.
It's called disguise, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, that's the one.
Well, it does give you a cover story for traveling with a group of martial artists. Okay. As far as the gift is concerned, he offers each of you a koku. Those of you who do not wish to join the school, he offers a further koku. So if you've not joined the school, you get 2 koku. If you have, then you gain 1.
Yeah.
And given that he is going to be announcing your success to Lord Kanawa, you will each gain on equal to your Budo plus 5.
Oof. 9.3 for me.
Just round to the nearest, so it's whole number of on.
So it's
only
10.
Budo that's
Round it up or down?
round up in your favour.
10.
Sorry, not to the
Okay.
nearest, up in your favour. So 9.3 would go to, 9.1 for Baka goes to 10. That's really good.
Yeah, I know. Much appreciated.
And that
Good
goes
question,
in-
Oliver.
It goes in on from actions, doesn't it?
It goes in on from actions.
That's a quarter of my on now. That's pretty good going.
I'm over 100 on.
Good going. So, at this point in time, he asks that you assist further with what he plans to do with the captives. He is going to take them down to the village of Connor and make a gift of them to the local lord.
Happily march them down there for him.
Let me just move you to the map so you can see the village.
Where are we?
So,
Up here.
you are currently at the house on the rock, which is there. The village of Connor is the village run by the local samurai lord, who took the other pupils from the school to use as messengers. So, in return, he is going to deliver these goblins to the Lord as a gentle reproof, shall we say. What he does with them is up to him, but since Connor is actually within the province of the daimyo of Hyuga, if that local lord isn't careful, he could be having problems himself.
As a question, Dave, do I get
Yep.
any status in the house on the rock, even though I didn't join?
Sorry, yes, you gain 5 status. Sorry, those who didn't join gain 5 status in the house on the rock for being in the battle.
Is that 5 status taken into account with us joining the membership? Is that?
No, it's 5
Yes,
if
wait,
you didn't join.
If you didn't join, then you gain 5 status. If you did
If you did join.
you get the 20 for being a senior member.
Okay, got you. Right.
Okay. So effectively, you get 15 more for joining. Okay. So The teachers will watch the prisoners outside and make sure they don't get stroppy. And come morning, you will be travelling with them as prisoners to Connor. The sensei will be going with one of the teachers, and he'll leave the others to look after the school. He doesn't expect there will be any further trouble for some time, because the Daibakemono will be trying to figure out how to tell his lord what happened without losing his head. So, Onaka will get some food put together. You are offered the use of the bathhouse to ease your cuts and pains, etc. Anyone else who requires physician will be treated. Does anybody else need the help of a physician?
Yeah, I've taken some lethal damage.
I have got.
I just need a good night's rest.
I've got subdual damage only.
I
Yeah,
thought I'd already taken subdual, but apparently I've
Yeah.
got 6 lethal, so I must be I either put it in the wrong box or I misread
Yeah,
what I had before.
I've certainly got lethal.
So
Well,
I've
half
got on the assumption that I had 6 lethal.
Well, half the Bakemono show were using swords, and half of them were using clubs.
I've written in lethal, so I'll assume I've got lethal.
Okay. One of the teachers will let you know that when the sensei arranges for sale of the property of the Bakemono, you will be getting a share of that as well.
I am going to ask if, whilst we're travelling down to drop these guys off, if I could borrow one of the Tetsubo that the Bakemono show had.
Oh, certainly.
Fantastic.
It's not particularly good quality, but it's especially not after pounding on the gate for a while. But it's serviceable.
Better than nothing.
Yes. Very good. So, the night actually passes quite peacefully. The those who need physician. So who was it? You, Kosa?
Kosa, yes. I've taken
let's
nine lethal.
Kosa and Yanagi.
So successful physician roll, a bandage, a point for the medical kit. So that is 3. If you make a health saving throw, you'll get 4. Okay, so 3 immediately better, and you will also recover 1 overnight. Yanagi, yep, successful physician roll, bandage and healing salves, that's 3, and would somebody make a health saving throw for Yanagi?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm 16 now.
No, okay, so Yanagi gets 3 lethal better.
He hasn't got any lethal damage. He's only got crit.
Yeah, he's got
He
crit.
took health potions.
The critical no more critical damage can be healed at the moment, because the physicians have done all they can with that eye for the time being.
Yeah, well, they just re-bandage it, and it makes it even better. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay, so
Take that then.
And as far as Baka is concerned, yep,
I've got a healing rate of 4.
roll. Well, hang on a second. Make a health saving throw.
Need to beat a 10. On the money.
Nice.
Okay, you get 4 better immediately.
Yep.
Okay. Given that this happened during the night, you don't actually get any better during the night. Thinking about it. So, sorry. No, I'll give you one back. You get another one back overnight, because I gave that to Kosa.
How about Harumi?
As far as Harumi is concerned, successful roll. +2 is 3. Health saving throw for Harumi. Well, in actual fact, she's only got 1 lethal damage, so therefore she's better. She just needed.
Now that's good because she failed a health saving throw, which is not surprising.
Well, she gets 3 back, but since she's only lost 1, that's 2 away. Not wasted. They're never wasted, but she's fully healed again.
Excellent.
Okay. I presume that she asks to be woken to see the dawn to get her Shugendo back. Her
power back. Yes,
power back,
make sure for that.
Okay.
The second of Fumizuki, if I'm not mistaken.
1 second while I check the calendar. 2 Fumizuki, yes indeed.
That over 2 years in game time now. It is, eh?
I think so.
It was
yes.
It was over 2 years in game time when I joined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I literally joined on the New Year's Eve of your second year in game.
We're in our second year because we've only had 1 birthday so far.
Let me see.
I just re-rolled the school's teachings.
I think we might be in our 3rd year.
It is
We
the
are,
3rd
yeah.
year, actually.
We should
Yes.
have maybe
Yeah.
had a
Thanks to the-
second birthday.
Prepared 2 years worth and we'd run out, yeah.
901 rows on my calendar so far. So
In that case, I should be a year older than I've got written down.
Yeah, we're like
Yes,
20
indeed.
instead of 18 now, eh?
I'm the only young boy.
fair enough. Okie doke. So, you wake on 2 Fumizuki to dark storm clouds overhead and heavy rain. Never mind. It's a pleasant day for a walk with some prisoners, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got a hat and raincoat. I shall be fine.
Yep. And they're only
see-
Bakemono, so it doesn't matter if they're miserable.
Take my armor off now. Obviously.
Very good. So, you are traveling with 5 Bakemono and 30 Bakemono show. It is quite a caravan. The Bakemono are still confused and don't quite know what's going on. The Bakemono show are pretty cowed.
So I hope
Yes,
so, 'cause a lot of
they-
them- certainly they outnumber us.
Well, most of them have taken lethal damage. Even though you were only doing subdual damage, the teachers were only doing subdual damage, most of them have taken lethal damage because they were hit so hard. So so the vast majority of them are carrying wounds of one type or another.
Broken bones, etc.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not really in a fit state to cause trouble. The Bakemono might be if there was somebody to organize them, but the sensei is pushing them forward at the front with the show behind, and they are all the show are all gagged. Anyway, traveling down the road, you make it. Let's see. I think the speed is actually being restricted by the movement rate of the Bakemono show. No, the movement rate of the Bakemono. They're the slowest. But they are
Slower
being
than
pushed.
Ashigenja?
BMA 3?
Oh, yeah.
Kick their asses to make them go. I'm going to make them go 7. With my foot up their asses. You're fucking getting down this road, you little bastards. I'm going to march them the fuck down that road. Watch their feet fall off by the time I'm finished with them.
Right. So you're moving through the rough terrain, so your movement rate's cut by a quarter. So they are pushed to go at the same speed as the Bakemono show, but they are only able to go 3 hexes in the rough terrain. 2, and there is actually a ford, and the sensei does push them across the river.
You're towards the hill of Daitakuga.
And basically says to the prisoners, if you cause any trouble, we will tie you to the trees on that hill. And a very peaceful night is had. The following day does indeed dawn. You are not on the hill, you are kind of out of that forest. But it does kind of weigh heavily on your minds.
Keep looking over our shoulders at it.
Yes. The sensei does ask, when he sees you kind of giving it particular attention, he does ask whether you know anything more about the hill.
I'll just say yes and then look away.
You can tell him our experience up there.
I'll let someone else tell that story. That's not my favourite story.
Oh, he had heard that there was an Araburu kami associated with the hill. He wasn't aware that there were ghosts in the trees. That adds veracity to the tales. Still, no doubt the daimyo will at some point get around to dealing with it, he says, obviously not expressing much hope.
Right, Dave. The party should be aware that I spend the night in a propitiatory mode, looking at the hill and praying for the souls that are lost.
Very good. Please roll a d20.
Sorry, Dave, did you say something?
I said please roll a d20. Let me just check your sheets. Okay. You are a little bit tired come dawn, but nothing has actually disturbed the group overnight. The following day is not quite. It's completely overcast, but it's no longer storm clouds. It's still steady rain, not quite as heavy as yesterday. So it is somewhat muddy. And you are heading down towards the village of Connor, which you reach about midday. Now,
Would I have healed that last hit point last night, or was that not sufficient resting place?
I would have healed all my subfuel, wouldn't I?
You are not in particularly good conditions. You're out in the open. Okay, it's not freezing cold, but it is wet. So no, you don't actually get any lethal back. Any subdual that people have taken has gone.
Oh, nice, thank you.
But lethal damage you haven't healed anymore yet.
Still got my scar.
Okay. And let me just make a little roll for the village of Connor. Oh dear.
Village is gone.
You come within sight of the village. And the sensei is somewhat surprised that you haven't been challenged as you approach the edge of the village. And eventually he stops the group about 100 feet short of the outskirts and sends teacher Sunaku in to announce the arrival to the local lord. He is somewhat surprised that none of the village guards have spotted you.
I shall prepare my Yuwara.
The teacher disappears into the amongst the houses, and very shortly there is somewhat of a commotion, and quite a few peasants start boiling out of houses and rushing to the other side of the village. After about 10 minutes, a party comes running up through the village. There is a young samurai at the front with a small group of ashigaru. And teacher Sunaku is leading them back towards you. The young samurai, you would estimate he's reached his majority, but this year. So he's not the local lord. He's presumably his son. Anyway,
Sorry, Steve?
sorry. Probably
He
about
would be 16.
Yes, about 16. And he only has about 4 ashigaru with him. And Sensei Watashi will step forward, bow appropriately to the lord of the village, and introduce himself as the sensei of the School of the House on the Rock. And he wishes to inform Lord... Hang on a second, let me just get his name right. He has come to inform Lord Kurosaki Kutsu that the school managed to defeat the attackers from the Lord of the Mountains, and given that they are a martial school, they do not feel that it is within their rights to put the attackers to death, as those rights belong to Lord Kutsu. And therefore, they have brought them to Lord Kutsu. He would like it to thank Lord Kutsu for his assistance in supporting the school, and to let him know that Lord Kanawa Jisumi, his neighbor, assisted the school by assigning some of the pupils who were his subjects to help defend it. He obviously felt that their skills were better used in combat than as messengers. All very politely said, but there are barbs all the way through that. For a start, Lord Kanawa Jisumi is not a subject of the local daimyo. The pupils from his school, were taken by Lord Kurosaki Kutsu to use as messengers, and he has just pointed out that they are much better used in combat. So, effectively, he's being politely impolite, but not in a manner that this kid is able to do anything about.
Being passive aggressive.
Oh yes. He inquires. He asks whether Lord Kutsu is in residence. He obviously knows full well he isn't. The kid makes a. How's his tactics? Oh!
Ha!
Oh!
Go home, kid. Go home and play with your Lego.
The kid makes several social gaffes in introducing himself as Kurosaki Gensai, the second son of Lord Kurosaki, who, with his heir, is in the mountains dealing with the forces of the Lord of the Mountains. But he's basically put his foot in it and acknowledged a number of the points that Sensei Watashi has made without realizing he's given ground. So, please have an extra 2 on each, because your role in this has been
Magnified, amplified.
magnified through what this sensei has said.
Still in the same place. On from actions, eh?
On from actions, 2 extra points each.
Nice. I'm over 110.
Have people done are people doing Yanagi and Harumi, or do I need to do them?
I haven't done them.
I've done Unite.
Okay, so let me do Harumi. So that's another. Well, we can't do on for Harumi until we know whether she's going to join the school or not.
Yeah. Brian's coming soon. He just said he was going to be an hour late for the session, so he should be along soon.
But I've added another 2 on from actions.
Should my on from level be 10?
On from level?
Yeah, it's just below on from actions. So that hasn't gone up since leveling up.
Yes, mine says 15, so it's 5 per level. Mine says 15.
Yes,
okay, cool.
It's 5 per level. So it's, yeah, if you're second level, it should be 10.
Okay, cool.
I don't believe I updated Harumi's Shugendo. Let me just update that then. Because that's gone up majorly. So, the sensei asks whether Kurosaki Gensai wishes to take possession of these bakemono in the name of his father, or should they be delivered to the daimyo? And he gets to make another decision. Does he get this one right? Yes, he says he will be taking possession of them, and he thanks the sensei for his gift, and he is sure his father will be suitably grateful when it comes time to review the status of the school. And he asks you to drive them into the area outside his house. So you do indeed take them down into the compound, and the show are tied to the
Lord's
stockade
house.
wall. This is the Lord's house. It's basically a compound.
Yeah.
The garden is going to be pretty much trashed by this, but he is insistent that they will take possession. How he's going to manage them with 4 guards is anybody's guess, but it's his choice. So, you do indeed take them to the compound, and a couple of the villagers are shanghaied to start tying the show to the stockade wall, and the Obakemono are basically chained to the ground. And it's probably as well, says the sensei, that you return to the school. What does he actually think he should do? Yes. Right. What he would like to do is head down the road to Hanamishisu to leave a message to be delivered to Lord Kanawa, and then return up the open country through the hills and back to the house on the rock. So given that it is just after lunchtime, there is indeed time to get to Hanamishisu tonight. So he and teacher Sunaku will set out, and rest of you coming along?
Yeah. Are we, boys?
Okay.
Yep.
Indeed.
And you travel to Hanamishisu. Okay. When you get to Hanamishisu, he doesn't stop at the inn. He heads straight for the compound of the Lord of the Village, and goes to make a report to Kanawa Tsuka, son of Kanawa Jisumi. And yep, he does okay. And Tsuka does okay as well. So there is a formal meeting. He is greeted with respect by Kanawa Tsuka as sensei of the school that his father patronizes, and he offers Lord Tsuka the honor due the heir, and reports the events of the 2 nights ago, and asks that a message be sent to his father, thanking him for the loan of his vassals to protect the school. And Lord Tsuka congratulates you all on performing to the honor of the village. Have another point of honor each. If you are from this village.
I am.
Yep.
I think most of you are. So where's Harumi? There's another point of honor. Okay. He will also accompany Lord Tsuka into a back room where no doubt he will update him on anything else that he feels should be known by Lord Tsuka. And you are greeted by your families and anybody else that you wish to see in the village, who are relieved to see you're okay, except Yanagi, of course. And they ask with great interest as to what happened. Uncle's pleased to see you.
I would say we would tell the full story. I don't think we would leave any of it out. Nothing would be kept a secret, I don't think.
Nope.
Okay.
So,
well, the villagers are all actually grateful, because if the house on the rock had fallen, it's quite close to the Kanawa estate, and that would likely be the next target. So they consider that you have done the village a great service.
It's an honour.
Parents are pleased with the honour you've brought to the families. Uncle is pleased that you've defeated some of the forces of the Lord of the Mountains, and relieved that he hasn't lost some useful porters.
Porters. Some man, uncle.
is he grateful enough to be buying us a drink at the inn?
I don't know, like, it's a bit of a stretch for this guy.
Well, suppose so. He will tell the innkeeper to break out the sake, and he will stand you all to a couple of drinks.
Hey, let's go.
Okay. So, any of you want to do anything else while they're in the village?
No, I don't have a lot of money, so I'm not going to leave any with my parents just now. I think I'm good.
Okay. Well, the next day is actually clear. Well, sorry, it's still slightly overcast, but it's not raining, which is a big step up.
What time of year are we in now?
Fumizuki, I think it's the autumn.
Fumizuki, which is...
Start of the autumn, start of the winter, I think. End of the summer, start of the winter.
It's end of the summer. The Minazuki was really high summer, so Fumizuki is the tail end of summer.
Also like October, September. To us.
Yeah, something like that. You are about a week short of the autumn equinox.
Okay.
Some stuff on then.
Okay. It is quite a hot day compared with yesterday, but that's probably because it was raining yesterday.
Yep.
So, traveling north, you are now all moving at a faster speed. I think the limit is now probably Harumi, isn't it? Well, her normal BMA is 4. I'm sure she can push it up to 5. So
She can for short runners. She's done so before.
half, 1.5, 2.5. 3. Yes, you can make it to the house on the rock at BMA 5. Harumi is a bit exhausted, but you do make it safely. And just to check.
Oh, sorry. Okay, backtracking, there was something. Was there any word from Nobioka? Because we've been there a month or two now, or a month and a bit. So was there any word from the state of Nobioka from Uncle?
Well, the search for the killer has apparently died down. There is still reward outstanding, but everybody believes that it was somebody from out of town who's obviously left the province. Either that or the description was wrong. I mean, it could have been mistaken for you, he says, looking at Kyūryū. His warehouse has remained undisturbed. There haven't been any requested searches by Lord Kanawa's men for anything.
That fat bastard still ruling the roost.
At the moment, yes. But you know, they're hopeful that he'll get his comeuppance. You know, what goes up must come down eventually. Anyway, you do make it back to the house on the rock, and let's just get that. So, and it has been peaceful in your absence. And Sensei Watashi would like to. When you get there, you will meal will be ready, so that you can have a bath. You can get cleaned up, settle down, and have a meal. And the sensei will discuss what he hopes to do, which is finish clearing the place up tomorrow, and then rededicate the school to the kami, and thank it for its help in defending it. So he will lead the ceremony himself. He will ask if any of you have any skill or knowledge in Shinten to assist him. If so, then he would be grateful. He has some knowledge himself, but he's going on the rituals that were passed to him by his own sensei.
Have only a passing, fleeting fragment of a fraction of a knowledge of Shinten.
I will volunteer to help him.
He is grateful for your assistance.
I volunteer to help in other ways, physical labour, clearing the place up and stuff, of course.
Well, yes. Sanding out the scorch marks on the the wood floor of the dojo.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll be down to
revarnishing,
help
blah
with
blah
things
blah
like
blah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting the garden to rights where bodies have been thrown.
Yes,
that sort of thing.
exactly. Yeah, I'll be helping with things like that.
I have some modest building skill. Do they want to start thinking about maybe putting some fortifications up in case they get attacked over winter?
Repairing the gates would be a very good thing to get done. So if you are able to assist with that, they would be grateful.
Only have a go.
Putting up fortifications is a bit more than A, they are able to do themselves, and B, they don't have permission for it. Fortifying the school without the permission of the local lord would be a social
It'd be an offence to the Lord.
misdemeanor.
Yeah. It'd be like declaring independence from the Lord or declaring against the Lord.
I believe it. I believe in the UK there were you had to have the authority of the king to crenulate your
Yeah, to fortify, to
your
make castle
castle.
things, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Well, my first go at doing the gate was atrocious, but don't worry, this is just my first try. I'll get there.
Well, it is a task that will take a couple of days. Anyway, so the 5 Fumizuki, there is a full-scale house cleaning.
That's 4th.
You travel to the house on the rock on the 4th.
Did I?
Yep.
No, that was...
Well, the attack was on the night of the first Fumizuki.
Yep.
On the 2nd, you travelled
To
towards Connor, but only got to the hill of Daitakuga, and you camped for the night.
Oh, did we camp for the night there?
You camped for the night in the shadow of the hill,
okay.
and he removed any risk of the goblins rebelling by threatening them with the hill itself.
I missed that camping there, sorry.
So then on the 3rd you travelled to Connor, and then on to Hanamishisu, and on the 4th you travelled back to the house on the rock. So the 5th is cleaning, and in the evening there will be a ceremony to rededicate the school, to thank the Kami for its assistance in defending it, and to ask for its blessing on the future of the school itself. So, would you please roll a d20, Kinzo, to see how much assistance you are in the ceremony? Not a great deal. How does the sensei do? Well, the sensei does carry on the ceremony. He ignores the faux pas that you make when you are trying to assist, and continues on successfully to invoke the Kami and thank for its help. And he places the Yawara back on the wall of the meeting room. And
So we should be talking about the Kami of the Well.
Possibly it was something from there, but it wasn't. It was out of place for this school. But since it was offered in good faith, the sensei owes you a debt of gratitude. Any failing is actually ignored. You do not lose any on for that, Kinzo. Okay.
Would be one of the few times I roll a 20, wouldn't it?
Better that than in a fight.
That's a matter of opinion.
Well, granted, sometimes in a religious ceremony, it could be worse than being in a fight. Upset a kami, and yeah, true. Fumble in a battle, and you could be injured. Upset a kami, it could be much worse. But since you were only offering assistance, you didn't upset a kami, and all is well. Okay? The sensei will talk through what needs to be done to put the place to rights. Now that they've got the place tidied up, one of the teachers has some building experience and will be assisting you, Baka, in trying to fix the gates. But as far as the rest of it is concerned, there's not really much more they can do apart from await any future action by the Lord of the Mountains. And given that they have not heard of any decisive actions, either for or against the daimyo, the assumption is that most of his forces are probably still engaged with the daimyo. If the Lord of the Mountains himself wanted the school, there's not much the sensei feels he could do to prevent it. But the forces he did send were obviously very much second rank. As far as the defense of the school is concerned, he's grateful for your assistance. He feels that they are probably as safe as they can be at the moment. If the daimyo's forces are defeated, then, well, all bets are off. But given that there has been no word of that, then we must hope that the daimyo is being successful, and at the very worst there is a stalemate. And he thanks you again for your assistance. If you wish to stay and continue to help defending the school, then of course you would be welcome, but he feels that at present you have carried out the task that Lord Kanawa asked you to do.
If the rest of the group wanted to return to or stay at the school to do some training while also being there to defend it if anything goes down, I would be more than happy with that.
If the team wish to stay at the school, he would be grateful for their presence, and to that end is willing to offer 3 weeks of free training.
3 weeks of free training sounds excellent, boys. What do you think?
That sounds good to me.
Would this mean staying over winter?
No, we're only.
Oh no,
we're only at the start of the autumn now.
Yes. You're getting in. You're in autumn now. In a week of the autumn equinox. So winter is still some time off.
Oh, in that case, yes. I'll more than happy to stay.
Kosa, what were you saying?
I just said, Baki, it's not late enough that you're going to get snowed in.
No.
Good.
Okay. In that case, if the party are happy to stay there for the next 3 weeks, training is being offered for free.
Well, it'll be 3.5 weeks because we're on the 5th, aren't we?
Well, he's actually willing to start training on the 6th.
Oh. Even
well,
better.
The school is empty apart from you.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
So regular lessons are not being carried out.
Right, Dave. If we're going to stay the 3 weeks, I'll do my second month of deafness training.
Very good. Okay, in that case, you can have 3 weeks of deafness training, which gives you 1 point of deafness, correct?
Indeed it.
And that will also give you 0.3 status. Sorry, gives you 3 points of status in the House on the Rock again. Okay. What would the rest of you like? Sorry.
So you know, that puts my base action phase up to 11.
Oh,
wow.
Very good.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
I now go a little bit faster than most, but not as
Yeah.
fast as.
That's impressive.
Well, if Kinzo, mine's quite easy. So then, in that case, if Kinzo can bear Baka for a month, he'd also quite like to train in deafness, so we can spar off each other and practice dodging
by all
and all that
means,
kind of stuff. So
Very good. In that case, increase your permanent value for deafness by 1.
cool. That doesn't put me up, but
No, but it puts you
And-
halfway there, doesn't it? So.
It does.
Yeah.
And add 3 points of earned status in the House on the Rock.
lovely.
Good lord. That's put your global status up a point in the House on the Rock. You've now got 50% more. You've now got 50% more global status than anything else.
What's upsetting to me is I've got 3 times as much in this one as I have in the Rat Gang.
Some Yakuza,
Yes,
yeah.
but most of the stuff that you've been doing as a criminal hasn't been for the Rat Gang, has it?
Who's the Rat Gang? I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, most of the stuff you've been doing as a criminal has been for the party. Not that you've been doing anything as a criminal for the party.
Dum 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 dum. No.
Okay, so Kosa, Yanagi, Harumi, and Kyūryū, what are you planning on doing?
Is there anyone here to teach Shuriken Jutsu?
Let me consult the House on the Rock. I believe there probably is.
I think there's a couple of us would benefit from it. Am I right?
Shuriken Jutsu, Sensei Watashi is a master.
The sensei himself. It'd be an honour to have lessons with the sensei himself.
Well, Kosa, what are you looking for training in?
I think I'm going to stick with the Jujutsu, please.
Jujutsu. Teacher Sashimi is a master in Jujutsu.
Very nicely, thank you.
I was just going to go for 3-week blocks to make it easier.
If you wish.
So this is the 6th of Fumizuki to the 5th of...
Hang on a second. Let me just go back to the diary.
Tsukimizuki.
It's Tsukimizuki.
TZU.
ESUKI
TSUKI.
hyphen MI hyphen Zuki.
Got you, thank you, Nick. Yeah, I'll just do a 3-week block to make life easier.
Okay. Now. You are both students, yes? You're both members of the school?
Senior members.
Yes. Do you wish to ask for personal tuition?
Well, there's only a few teachers and a few of us learning here, and we're both doing different things. We might as well get personal tuition.
Might as well try. Cheeky, I guess.
You might as well. Yeah, I think we're
Okay.
going to be getting personal tuition either way because it's going to be a class of 1.
It's going to be a class of 1, but personal tuition is different from just normal teaching.
Yeah, but I think we should go for it. I'm going to ask for it. You don't ask, you don't get.
Make a status roll, please.
What am I rolling? A D20, right?
Well, what's your status in the house on the rock?
Boss.
Your group status is what?
Global status is 17. Group status is 50.
No. What's your group status is 50.
Yep.
So therefore, your status BCS is 10.
I rolled a 7.
Okay. So that is 3 effect numbers. Is the sensei willing to give you personal tuition?
Were you not offering money as well, or to add that, or is it not worth it?
This is basically free tuition, and therefore you are not paying for it. And
it's sweeten it to me.
But the negative to that is that gifts are not something you. If you are paying for it, then
it's going to make an influence.
You could make gifts,
but it's not going to make any difference. It's not going to influence it.
But since this is free, you can't influence it with money. Okay.
Yep.
So that was not actually enough because it was the sensei rather than just one of the teachers. Kosa, are you going to try making a status roll?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Rolled a 6.
Getting personal tuition from the sensei is an honor. And how many effect numbers did you make?
My status is 49.
Okay, so your status BCS is 9, so that's 3 effect numbers. With Teacher Sunaku, that is enough to get personal tuition from him.
Yes.
Okay. So, let me just pull up the sheet. There we go. So, Shuriken Jutsu. So, master of the skill, bonus to learning rate is that. Okay. Do they have a usable Torimono? What is your skill in Shuriken Jutsu?
Yeah, looking at the permanent, 53.
53. Okay. In that case, they have a scroll in Katakana up to 87.
Excellent.
So they do have a usable Torimono. So therefore, you will get 6 plus your learning rate for each week.
Learning rate is... Oh, I always forget.
It's going to be 2.
Yeah. Learning rate of 2, I think. Okay. Did you say 6 plus 2?
6 plus 2, so that would be 8 for the first week.
Yep.
And that takes you to what?
So 53, that'll put me up to 61.
Okay, so unfortunately that takes you over 60.
Yep.
So therefore, for the next 2 weeks, you'll only get 4 per week because you halve it.
4 plus my learning rate?
No, 6 plus your learning rate halved.
So I get 4 for each week.
So you'll get another 8 for the 2 weeks.
Okay, so that puts me up to 69.
So you've gone up from 53 to 69, which is 10 to 50, 10 to 13, which is 3 improvement in your BCS. So that is 0.3 on a physical.
0.3 on a physical, and I am going to put it on speed. Put it up to 23.8.
Okay. Right, so Sashimi is going to be teaching you Jujutsu. Now, do they have a decent Torimono? What is your skill, by the way?
76.
Unfortunately, their Torimono only goes up to 70 in Jujutsu. So you have 76. So that will give you a bonus of 6 plus your learning rate. So you have 6 plus your learning rate for the first week.
It'll be hard, won't it? Because I'm over 60 already. So
correct.
That's 4 a week, isn't it?
So that will put you up to 80.
Yep.
So the second week, unfortunately, it's 5 plus your learning rate.
Right, 7, yeah.
So that's 3.5. So you're up to 83.5. And the third week, again, it's 5. So that'd be another 3.5, which would put you up to 87.
That's a total of 11 altogether.
Okay. So you've gone up from 76 to 87, which is two BCSs, so that's 0.2 on a physical.
1 point onto speed, that takes me up to 23.
Ooh.
1 point on the other 0.1 on deafness.
Righty ho.
My BMA up to 8.
BMO 8. Twice Harumi. Are you strong enough to carry Harumi, by the way?
Not a long distance, I don't think, no. Short distance, but not all day, certainly.
Okay, and both of you can add 3 earned status to your House on the Rock.
Earned status,
Okay.
yeah.
Aye. And nothing happens at the school. But in the third week, a messenger arrives from the Lord of the Connor village, thanking Sensei Watashi for his gift, and congratulating him on fending off the attack of the forces of the Lord of the Mountain. The message also comes with the news that the forces of the daimyo have returned from the campaign, having successfully vanquished the treasonous Ronin who were supporting the Lord of the Mountain and forcing them from the province. A marvelous victory has been won. Reading between the lines, the sensei will discuss the message with you, and reading between the lines, it has basically been a bit of a draw. So, given that both sides are likely to be licking their wounds, he thinks it's unlikely there's going to be any more threats to the school this year.
Yeah. Extra time next year.
Yes. Okay. So, at the end of that training session, what do you wish to do? It is now 6th Tsukimizuki, or it's the evening of the 5th Tsukimizuki. And the weather for the last week has been pretty clear. There's been a few raindrops 3 days ago, but apart from that, the weather's been good. Land is drying out.
Anyone got anything that they need to do?
No immediate needs, no.
I'd still quite like to make a little bit more money so that I can do some decent training over winter.
I should be returning to Nobioka
To work?
and overwintering there.
Okay.
What about you, Kosa?
What do you wish to do about your cargo, by the way?
What cargo?
Oh. Okay, fair enough. You are disclaiming all knowledge of whatever's in Uncle's warehouse.
What's Kosa want to
At the moment, it can stay there.
Well, Baka knows from what you've said it's quite valuable.
Yeah, about that making some money before winter.
Is that situation still ongoing, I assume? I don't remember exactly where we left it.
Well, you fled Nobioka because
We left. We didn't leave.
Well, that's why I want to go back to Nobioka and talk to Wanshu. Because if it's settled down, we can bring it back to Nobioka and possibly sell it using Baka's more dubious contacts.
Contacts, yes.
Be the same contact you would use. Uncle's my financiers.
Okay. Fair enough. You.
Sorry, one shoe and Uncle, yeah.
If we're discussing sort of resting up over the winter, then I'll probably stay here.
Well, why don't we do what Kinzo says? If we go back to Nobioka, see what the lay of the land is. If everything's fine, then we can come down here and regain the stock. And either if you guys want to then go off for winter, that's one thing. And then we can go make some, maybe sell it if it's all good. If it's not, then we really think when we got to Nobioka.
Yeah, I'm happy. Kosa, I would come back here for the winter as well. I agree with that plan that you're saying.
Well, we've got about a month before winter starts, so we can go and try and sell this stuff.
Yeah, go and see what's up in Nobioka. Go and maybe take it somewhere else to sell it, but we can go
back and try and organise converting it into cash.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, yeah, it'd be good to. It would be good to know what one she says first of the situation.
Yeah.
But I think Uncle's is what, as far as I'm aware, Uncle's is good at selling this sort of stuff, and then it'd be outside Nobioka anyway.
We can go to Mishisu and ask him to sell it for us.
You can.
It means we want to transport it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Worth finding out from one shoe first, so where we're at.
Yeah. Let's go and see him and see what he says. I think.
You can travel back to Nobioka and talk to Wanshu. Sorry, are you going to go back to Hanamishisu first, or travel straight to Nobioka and talk to Wanshu?
No, Wanshu, I think. Straight to Wanshu.
I think because Wanshu would be good to catch up what's going on in Nobioka as well.
Yeah, well, the point is that Wanshu is the one who put us onto it, so I think he gets first dibs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough. Okay, so in that case, what route are you going to take back to Nobioka? I mean, the normal route you take is down the stream and cross the bridge at Connor. But given recent events at Connor, I'm not sure whether you want to do that or whether you want to cross the river there and skirt around Connor and join the road further on.
I think we should take the ford and bypass Connor.
Okay. So, in that case, setting out on the... Yep, it's a peaceful day. So, 1, 2.5, which rounded up goes to 3 and a bit. And then 4 would take you to there. Are you going to push Harumi and move a bit further?
Yes. Yeah, she can get pushed a wee bit again. It's fine.
Okay. In that case, you can travel up to there on the first day. Apologies for the cough.
This is the 6th now, yeah?
Yep. So this is the 6th. And on the 7th, if all is well... Yes, on the 7th, you hit the Saikaido and travel up to Nobioka. Okay, now... Travelling up the road, there is a lot more traffic than there was. And there's a lot of troops going up and down the road. the general attitude or the general feeling is everybody seems somewhat depressed. The marvelous victory, from what you can tell talking to peasants on the way, wasn't so marvelous.
Yeah.
The daimyo's forces didn't do particularly well in the battles that were held. And a lot of the troops you see are still bearing wounds. Sorry, those of you who have lethal damage would have healed it by now. Yanagi would have been Yanagi would have been healed by the priest of the Temple of the Great Waters. So Yanagi's critical damage is gone as well.
Good.
When you reach Nobioka, the traffic in and out of the city doesn't appear to being discommoded at all. The guards aren't paying a great deal of attention. They just seem glad to be back in the city and not out in the mountains anymore. So you do make it to the docks, where Wonshu is delighted to see you again. Comments on Yanagi's black eye.
It's normal part of these days. It's normal. Half the time we've got one.
Fair enough. And asks how things have been. You give him your news, he will give you his news. Are you going to update him with what happened at the House on the Rock?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not holding back anything again. Tell him the whole story.
He listens with rapt attention to the tales of daring do, etc., and is deeply impressed. Dumpty 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 dum. And will make sure that you are suitably rewarded with the better quality sake. He gets out a barrel of the better quality sake.
Superb. Good show. Good show.
And he will then bring you up to speed with what he's been involved with and found out. The daimyo's forces did indeed invade the mountains, and they did indeed get into battle with the Ronin, who were fighting for the the pretender, shall we say, to the daimyo ship. Is it daimyo ship? Is that the correct phrase, Tim? The claimant to the title of daimyo of the province.
Well, it is the usurper, isn't he?
Yes,
Usurper,
the
yeah.
usurper. And they did manage to defeat him, although the battles did not go well. Their troops were unaccountably lackadaisical in the early stages of the battles. And so, even though they had superiority in numbers, they didn't tell as much as they should have done. They did come into battle with some of the forces of the Lord of the Mountains, but those were also inconclusive. And so, although the campaign has cleared all the camps of Ronin that they found, and they did find 4 of the camps, so there were probably in excess of about 1,500 Ronin that they dealt with, or that they fought all together, and those were put to flight. The camps were burned, but they weren't able to make any impression against the forces of the Lord of the Mountains. So, although from the point of view of dealing with the Ronin, it was a successful campaign season, it wasn't a total success, and the feeling is that they are going to have to go back and do it again next year. Why their forces were so bad, there is ongoing discussions about that? Was it the tactics? Was it the strategy that they were using? Nobody's quite sure. As far as the reason you may have left town quite quickly, that seems to have died down. There is still a reward for someone who looks like you, Kyūryū, but that was, let's put it this way, you have an alibi. You were not in town when this happened.
That's right, it was not.
Onshu raises an eyebrow.
Onshu, do you think you can sell or otherwise get rid of the stuff that we took off the sailors?
Possibly. Probably best not sell it here. And probably not in the quantities that you found. I would suggest breaking it up into smaller packages and sending it off to some of the other cities. We could send it by sea, and smaller quantities would be easier to get rid of.
Okay, so if we would go back down to Hanamishisu and bring it back.
Yeah. I can acquire suitable containers from the potters in town, and we can kind of. I'm not an expert in this sort of thing, but I'm sure that we can split it up into smaller quantities and seal the jars and then send it on. I mean, anybody who buys it is going to want to test it first, but that shouldn't be a problem. Given how much you've got, losing a couple of samples to tests, it will be relatively minor.
Okay, well then, gents, I suggest that's what we go and do, so we can get rid of it as quick as possible.
Agreed.
Okay, he'll start making inquiries about shipping due in the next week, if that's of interest. How many pots do you want him to get again, and what sort of size?
Enough
Well,
for
how
all
much
of
have
it.
we got?
How much have you got?
So not like 40
Do you
pounds.
remember? Did you write it down?
I have. If I went and got my notes
Trying
and
to
looked, I
find
could
it.
find it. It was about £40 or something, wasn't it?
Well, I think it's £40 for £10 jars.
I think it was 4
Exactly.
jars as well.
I think so.
£40. And from memory, a tenth of a pound will do a pound of rice. Was that it?
Something like that. We've got a lot of money's worth here.
Yeah. But anyway, he would suggest probably breaking it down into £5 jars at most. Probably £2 jars would be better.
Well, let us keep it in £10 lots till we get it here, then break it down into £2 jars. Yes.
Okay. Do you need bills of lading, etc. for transport?
Yes, we do.
He asks.
Yes, please.
Very good. In that case, I'm certain I have a load to take down to Hanamishisu, and Uncle will have a load for you to bring back.
Oh,
Quite possibly the same load.
who had the letter from Uncle that we needed to give to Wonshu about the whole situation?
don't know.
It looks like Baka's got it because I don't remember that.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. When we didn't tell Uncle about the chest, he went straight away and wrote a letter to One Shoe, which I'm guessing we don't know what's in. But
Well,
I
do you
have
wish
a
to
fair idea.
open it?
Oh hell no.
Fair enough. Okay. Let me just get that up. That's the one. Okay, so you have 3 £10 pots of I think it was 3 £10 pot.
4, wasn't it?
Was it 4? I thought it was 3.
But if you've got £40, it's 4, isn't it?
True. It's four £10 pots of 3 essences, excellent invigorating powder. And it was 1 ounce cooked in 10 pounds of rice will feed 10 people, granting plus 1d6 strength for 2 hours after eating.
So it's marching
And
powder.
an ounce
Yes,
normally
sir.
costs 2 silver a dose.
Yeah, so we're gonna get a little money back for this.
Okay. So, once you will arrange a cargo for you. He knows how you got the stuff out of town last time. Are you bringing it back the same way? In other words, is it still in the cargo lots that it was, or did you take it out of them? And the answer is it's still in the cargo lots that it was in,
It is,
because
yeah.
you didn't take it out. You just put the whole caboodle in Uncle's warehouse. So effectively, you need bills of lading for bringing them back, and you just need a bill of lading for taking some stuff down to Uncle.
Yep.
Okay. Very good. So, oh, by the way, you may wish to visit the temple this evening before you go to bed, Kinzo. It is the Shinto festival of Kunchi, the giving of thanks to the kami for the autumn harvests.
I'll go and do that. If I get a chance, I'll have a ritual of purification done over myself.
Okay. Do they have anybody available to do that? I think the answer is likely to be yes, because there are going to be other people wanting the same thing for the celebration. So let's just double check. Yes, no problem. There are rituals of purification going on throughout the evening as
Okay, in
people.
that case, I'll join it before the celebration begins, and I
Yes.
shall donate 5 silver to the temple roof.
They are very grateful, and have 1 point of honor. And come dawn, you have the appropriate paperwork. Are you going to leave Harumi here? Because traveling down to Hanamishisu, it's 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, she does slow us
4,
down a fair
5,
bit.
6, 7,
Yeah,
8,
she's-
9, 10. If you have BMA 5, you can make it in 1 day, no problem. 4, you're
Not
pushing
going
it.
She's not going to
Not
carry
much.
anything anyway, so she might as well.
Okay. Fair enough, in that case.
So you're leaving her at Nobioka then?
You leave her at Nobioka. Well, you're going to be back here day after tomorrow,
Yeah.
tomorrow anyway.
2 days, yeah.
Yeah.
2 days.
So, how does the journey go?
Is this,
Do you have any
are we,
trouble
are we, are we
Pono?
leaving tomorrow, by the way? We're leaving on the 8th, or still the 7th?
You're leaving tomorrow because you basically reach Nobioka.
Yeah.
You talk to Wonshu. Kinzo has his purification ritual and joins the ceremony of thanks to the kami. And One Shoe's busy getting the paperwork together for your journey there and back. So on the 8th, you travel to Hanamishisu, and there is only one guard on the bridge, and he's looking somewhat the worse for wear, and doesn't give you any trouble. Okay, you reach Hanamishisu, you go to see Uncle, and what do you say to Uncle? Hi, we're back from Nobioka. We got this stuff from you from One Shoe.
You've brought something from One Shoe, yes.
Okay. You hand over the bill of lading and the letter, and he
Ask for a package back.
looks at the letter and then sighs, walks over to the warehouse, opens the door, asks you to kind of take this stuff out which has accumulated over the last month, and then move that furniture, and then behind it you'll find the stuff that you dumped there kind of just over a month ago. Right, glad to get that out of the way.
Thank you for looking after it.
Oh, don't mention it, my son. Seriously, don't mention it, my son. Okay, would you mind putting all that back again? Thank you, thank you. He breathes a sigh of relief as whatever it was is no longer on his property. You spend a quiet evening in Hanamishisu, and then you hit the road to travel north again.
Next day again.
This will be on the 9th of Tsukimizuki.
Yep.
So, does anything untoward happen? Are you waylaid by mysterious bandits? No. And again, you pass the Bridget Connor without any problems whatsoever. Obviously, your names are not yet legendary in that village, and you make it back into Nobioka without any trouble whatsoever. Your bills of lading are checked when you cross the border, but it's only a cursory glance. You have paperwork, therefore you're okay. And you make it back to the docks. One Shoe is again pleased to see you. He has a collection of various pots, etc., that he's accumulated. He's tried to get different ones so that they don't all look the same. You know, it's less suspicious that way. He has some paper and ink and glue so you can put labels on. Are any of you able to copy that writing? I mean, ideally, if you put a copy of that label on, then it will it'll all look as though it's from that particular. Anybody have forgery skill?
I don't have forgery. I've got hiragana and katakana, but not forgery.
Well,
Yakuza.
well, he does know a scribe who may be able to make copies. For a suitable
For a price, of
remuneration.
course. Yeah, talk to your friend.
Did you want the £2 or the £5 jars? He's got mainly £2, but there are a couple of £5
£2 jars we do.
Okay, fine. Right.
Take longer to get rid of the stuff, but in some respects it's slightly safer because they're not as obvious.
Okay. And do you need anything else? I mean, he's not used to kind of decanting things like that one to another. limestone dust and that sort of stuff, yes, no problem. You do it with a shovel. But when stuff's worth 2 silver an ounce, it needs a bit more careful handling. Anybody have any appropriate skills?
We do it ourselves using ladles, right, and a dust sheet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, he has got.
We're Breaking Bad.
He has got paper, so you and glue and ink, so you can actually make paper funnels and things like that to decant the dust into the stuff. Okay.
Breaking Bad episodes,
Right.
guys.
Taking your time over it.
Okay.
Put together our temporary drug factory.
Yeah, honestly, I'm naming this episode Breaking Bad. That's so funny. Little drug lab for the day.
Okay, so who is actually going to be doing the decanting?
This was the last of my games that I expected to become a drug dealer in.
Well, I suggest we all take a turn.
We'll all chip in, boys. Yeah, wear gloves and whatever.
Oh no.
You wear gloves and a
Is this
mask, by the way. Not that I know anything about this kind of stuff, but someone told me.
Actually, we'll let Baka and Harumi out of it because they're not as dexterous.
Who's the most? I was about to say, who's the most deft?
Harumi is actually probably the best at putting together the paper funnels because she does have some skill in paper making, so she knows something about it.
No, the
Oh
origami.
yeah, right. So in that case, she can perform that by making funnels.
She can do the origami, yeah.
I'm still carrying a blooming sumie set for her.
Well, she is able to write, so she can write all the characters for the name, the kanji script for the.
Could she make up new labels for all of it, and then we put the new labels on?
Well, yes, it won't. They won't be identical to the script that was there, but it will be kanji.
But it will be the same.
Yes.
Same words
It's the same script. It's just not the same hand.
Yeah. Well, the point is, if we do all of our £2 jars with Harumi's hand, it'll all look the same, won't it?
Okay. All right.
So essentially, we are essentially forging it, but we're doing it in a roundabout route.
I am glad we found a job for Harumi in this drugs operation, because she was... she's not getting her way clean-handed, she's getting involved in it, she's getting her hands dirty as well.
Yes.
Yeah, rub the Kate and everyone, boys. If we go down, we go down together.
Okay. Right. So, which of the 4 jars do you want to open first?
Well, random, I guess.
Jar
It's
number
random,
1?
isn't it? So roll a d4.
Yes, I know it's random. I was just waiting for you to say, "Oh, well, is there any difference between them?" No. You open the first jar. Sorry, how are you actually going to decant it? Are you going to kind of pour it out into another container and then scoop it into the individual jars, or try pouring it directly into the paper funnel into the £2 jars?
No. We get a large bowl like a wok, and we pour it into that. Then we scoop it out into the separate containers, holding the container over the wok.
Okay, so you open the jar and you pour the jar into the wok, or at least you try to. And a small amount of powder pours into the wok, and no more is coming out.
Solidified.
Okay, well, put the powder that did come into one of the £2 jars.
Okay, you having a look in the jar?
Yeah, I think it went solid, it's dried up, or like got wet and then dried and stuck together or something. Maybe it needs chipped out.
No. There is a paper seal sealed with wax around the rim of the jar.
That means it's likely to be affected if it gets air to it.
Well, the first bit of the powder was open to the air, and you've poured it out.
Can we have a sniff at this, see if it smells the same as the other powder?
Well, no, because it's underneath a paper seal with wax around it. You have an earthenware jar. The neck of the jar has a paper seal across it, sealed with wax to the earthenware. So basically, the powder is underneath. The rest of the powder is underneath that paper seal.
Take the seal off then.
We've not got what we think we've got.
Okay, you remove the wax. You take the paper seal off, and there is more powder underneath. It looks a different colour, though.
Does once you have access to a herbalist?
What was the instructions? I'm sure Ruby read out the instructions for how to make the rice.
Just mixed with rice. It was just mix it in with the rice. Those are the instructions.
1 ounce cooked in 10 pounds of rice will feed 10 people.
Yeah. I'm willing to sample the first powder.
And you have basically decanted 3 ounces of powder off the top, which was on top of this paper seal. The rest of the 10 pounds underneath the paper seal looks to be a different colour.
Right, before we get any further, put the stopper back in the one we've opened and open the other 3 and do the same with that. Do we get 3 ounces of powder out of each?
Correct.
Right, so
each of the others is also sealed.
Yeah, we've got 12 ounces of 3S.
Correct.
And 28 ounces or something else.
And whatever this is. So
Does that mean that you have to mix these 2 powders to get the final product, if you like? A small part of the first powder and a larger amount.
This other powder be under here is something that you don't want to be taking.
Really? Okay.
What makes you think that, Kinzo?
Well,
I'm a suspicious-minded man, that's what.
In answer to your question, yes, Wonshu is sure he can probably find a herbalist to figure out what this stuff is. If you want him to,
in that case, give him a small sample, reseal the jars, and put the stoppers back in.
Okay.
And hide them while he goes and finds out what this stuff is.
Okay. Is it urgent? I mean, it is at night at the moment.
No, it can wait till tomorrow. It's not that.
Okay. Very good. Okay. So, first thing in the morning after breakfast, he will nip out with his little wrap of paper. And returns and saying he's left it with a herbalist who will analyze it and hopefully have some results by lunchtime.
So this is the next day now, the 10th?
This is the 10th of Tsukimizuki. And lunchtime, he disappears off to go and visit the herbalist, and returns looking somewhat shocked. And apparently, that powder is, he says, checking the description, a level 3 slow narcotic poison with a speed of 2 days.
You have no idea how close I was to volunteering to try some.
For your information, well, does anybody wish to enlighten you? Tim, do you want to tell them what a slow narcotic poison does?
Well, a slow poison will probably have a duration of some time, and basically you will make a health saving throw at a specified rate, say 1 an hour, and it will affect your speed.
Well, this is
see.
a long duration slow narcotic poison.
Well, in which case, it's
It
a
is
specialised.
engaged. Oh yes, it is a specialised
And
poison.
if this was added to the soldier's rice, it would
Mhm.
affect their speed or possibly their deftness, their dexterity. Sorry, and would of course make it much easier to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially why the war didn't go so well.
That's a
Ah.
possibility, isn't it?
Yes.
Mhm. I was just thinking that.
Narcotics attack your strength, if I remember rightly.
Narcotic poisons attack the victim's current strength attribute.
Oh, its strength is okay.
If
I'm
this is
thinking of
reduced
paralytic
as
poison.
basically it's every couple of days they have to make a saving throw. If they don't make their saving throw, their strength is reduced by a given amount. In this case, 3.
But it's the exact opposite of what it was described as.
Yep.
Instead of boosting their strength, it's draining their strength or crippling their strength.
Yep.
Somebody's had to nobble the army.
Unless you're lucky enough to get
result-
the first dish of rice.
Given how well the campaign went, it sounds like they succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, there was a lot more of this than we intercepted.
Oh yes.
This came from the dodgy merchant, didn't it?
Yes. Oddly enough,
Sounds like he's playing for the other side.
Fat Bastard was importing the rice, but also importing this stuff, and it was going to the same place.
Sabotaging the daimyo's army. Naughty man.
Yes. Shame you don't have any proof of that.
I'm sure we can talk to you out again.
Well, are you telling Wonshu about this? Now that you've figured it out?
Oh yes, yeah, we'll tell Wonshu because
Yeah,
you know what's going on.
he's likely to get, it all goes tits up. He's likely to get dragged in with us, so he needs to know what's going on.
Right.
It's probably got a very different value to the original stuff as well. So.
Well, while the 3SS is good and it's probably legal, this stuff's illegal. There's not much we can do with it. Unless Wonshu can arrange for it to get to the garrison.
Well, Wonshu's thinking that the remaining stores of the army have been kind of put into into storage, following their return. If a rumor was spread that the rice had been affected in such a manner, then inspection of those stores may well prove it.
Yeah, seems good to me.
Especially if a late delivery of rice was added to the stores, perhaps.
What of this batch?
Yeah, that's stuff.
Well, if Hideshige has been supplying this rice, then, well, it would only be kind of poetic justice if rice mixed with this material were to be checked by the daimyo and found to be
Covered in his storehouse.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a good point. Let's get this guy strung up.
Especially if it was in Fat Bastard's own labelled packaging.
Yeah.
well,
With
yes,
his seal on it.
His own rice sacks or whatever.
With his trader seal, his merchant seal on it.
Well, yes. He will make inquiries as to whether there is any spare rice that could be used in such a manner. Probably not safe to carry out a raid on Fat Bastard's own warehouse, but
Can we just add it to get it added to the daimyo stores, and they could have an anonymous tip-off to go and check their stores.
well, rumours, yes, rumours
Yeah.
do kind of spread. He will. He will go and have a quiet word with other parties who might be able to arrange this. How much of that stuff do you have?
£28.
40 pounds less 12 ounces.
And
So
it's,
39 pounds and
that's
4
going to
ounces.
affect quite a few sacks of rice, I suspect.
£40 times 16 is 640 equals
Ten.
that minus 12 would be 628 ounces of this stuff, and each one will do £10 of rice.
£10.
Jeez.
Several £1,000 of
6,200.
rice, isn't it? Yes.
That's about almost 3 tons of rice. He doesn't think he can get 3 tons of rice. That might be a
No,
bit
I don't
much.
I don't think you need that much, but you just need
A few bales and
two sacks.
positioned near the door so it's checked first. Yes, he will leave it with him.
Position arranged so that it looks like it's been mixed in with the rest of a bigger batch. The same source.
He will see what he can do. He disappears off.
I'm sure his friends know how to do this kind of stuff.
And will return with a request for how many pounds were they doing? They're going to do about £100, so they would like 10 ounces of it.
Okay.
Okay. So, would somebody care to make a 20-sided dice roll for me, please?
I'll get this one. 11.
Okay, that is successful. They have managed to mix it in. Okay. Can I have another 20-sided dice roll, please?
Let somebody else get this one.
Carry on.
Okay. Okay.
Where's the leadership?
16.
Okay, that wasn't a fumble, so they have managed to acquire some of the bale markings. And a last roll.
Coming up. 6.
The late arrival of some of the stores from the army in the mountains is indeed taken into the daimyo's warehouse. Okay. Now, one thing I haven't checked is, would somebody care to make a luck roll for me, please? 3d6.
Carry on.
Okay, I'll
Carry
get
on,
that.
leader.
No good luck, one bad luck.
Okay. That wasn't bad luck for you. Fat Bastard was not in town when the daimyo's army returned. He had business elsewhere, but he returned last week. When it had settled out and there was just some sort of question as to what might have happened. Nobody was really sure. So he is actually in town at this moment. So, do you wish to go drinking at some of the inns favoured by the Ashigaru? And possibly mutter things, or do you want to leave it up to some of his friends to do that?
I think we leave it up to the professionals.
I think so.
Okay. In that case, can I have a D20 roll, please, from the leader to see how well the spreading of rumours goes?
10. Middle of the road.
Okay. And it goes reasonably well. And one question. Do they think of that? Fair enough. There is indeed an inquiry, and it does indeed check the warehouse. It does indeed find evidence of a narcotic poison in the food being delivered to the army, but what happens with a fat bastard? Does he manage to wangle out of it? A D20 roll for him. It was all due to sabotage
Yes.
by the Lord of the Mountains. He's mysteriously poisoned the food. Is the tale that's coming out of Fat Bastard?
Yes. His agents are working in WK.
Lucky for the bastard.
Yeah.
Would you care to do a little bit of muscle work?
Always.
One Shoe's mates would like a little bit of assistance in dealing with a couple of guards. And they would like those, the rest of that stuff that you've got, because if we put that concealed in Fat Bastard's warehouse, that should torpedo his plans. Are you interested in assisting with dealing with some muscle, or not?
Boys.
Might as well. We're into our next.
In for a penny, in for a pound, eh?
Oh, I'm so up for it.
Yeah. Let's go.
Okay.
And the boys.
Well, I'm going to have to leave it at that for the night, because I wasn't sure how this would go. I had thought that Fat Bastard would get strung up by his thumbs, but on a 1, he was being entirely too persuasive. But there is intent to get him, and dumping the stuff in his warehouse and making it obvious that it's there should hopefully implicate him to the point that he can't wriggle out of it. So next week next session we will be carrying out an attempt to deliver the stuff into his keeping without him realizing it. Okay.
Excellent.
Sliced.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dave, for
So I'm sorry
50
if Breaking
sessions.
Bad broke particularly badly for you, but you do have 12 doses of the good stuff.
we do.
I noticed that, yeah. That was
Thank-
good fun. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you very much,
That's what I
Dave.
needed.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
very much.
Thank you for 50 sessions. Look forward to the next 50.
Well, we'll have to see how Harumi and Yanagi do.
Yes. Good night, all. Thanks for playing.
Good night, all.
Okay. Good night, all.
Good night.
Bye.
Night night.